My name is Paul Revere. I was a silversmith from Boston, Massachusetts. I made tea sets and spoons and worked with different metals. But besides that, I did many important things in my lifetime. For example, on April 18, 1775, I went to Lexington, Massachusetts to warn the local militia about a British invasion. I died on May 10th, 1880.
Hi, I'm Frederick William Jones Tibet, a German soldier who fought the British in the war. I was born on September 17th, 1730, and passed on in 1794. I grew up in Russia, but I moved back to Prussia and I learned as German. Although I was arrested and almost arrested again, I still fought for America's independence. I fought alongside men at Valley Forge and now even heard one of my quotes. What is, remember officers and soldiers that you are free men fighting for blessings of freedom. Thank you for listening to me and have a safe travel. Hi, my name is Phyllis Hubley, and I was the first African American woman to publish a book of poems. On my journey, I wrote many poems like Farewell to America, A Hymn to the Morning, and On Being Brought from Africa to America. I married John Peters. He was not very successful. He was a laborer and a lawyer. I learned a lot of things during my life. Even though I died poor, I was free. King George III was born in 1738 and he ever so beautiful and ugly. I became heir to the throne my father died in 1756. Everyone keeps saying I went mad. I think it is utterly flabbergasting that they can talk to me in such a tone. I'm the king after all. I think it was rather quite smart when I gave the people taxes. I wasn't selfish at all. I just wanted to pay off the debt of Great Britain. But never mind that. They put back in 3 teens and see the disrespect they show. Shame. Oh, because of that, I made my beautiful wife show it to Mackinday. We lived such a good life together. Suddenly there's some years running around. But I died, sadly. Oh, I must go. Kingly things to attend to. I'm Thomas Jefferson, and I was the third president of the United States and the third kid that my parents had. They had 10 children in total. I was born on April 13th, 1743, and I wrote the Declaration of Independence. Um, I had 6 kids with my wife,
That's a
and
good looking class up there.
I created the swivel chair the when I was writing the Declaration of Independence because when I was writing it, my back started hurting from the chair I was in. So I created that beautiful swivel chair right there. And I sadly, my daughter sadly died in 1804, and then I died on the same day on July 4th, 1826, 22 years after my daughter.
My name is John Paul Jones. I was born in Kirkby, Scotland on July 6, 1747. When I was 13 years old, I was an apprentice for a British marine merchant. This job allowed me to have some seafaring adventures. I usually shipped cargo around the Pacific Ocean. However, my seafaring adventures ended due to the fact I killed a man while dropping off cargo on the coast of Tobago. However, I did it out of self-defense. He got awfully aggressive when we were disputing about pay. I got really worried that I wasn't going to get a fair trial, so I fled to America. There, I took the American colonists' side in the Revolutionary War. I heard that the American colonists were in dire need of a naval commander. I fit this position perfectly due to my experience out at sea. I was known as the greatest naval commander in the Revolutionary War. I helped the Americans keep away the British from the Massachusetts coast. After the war ended, I went to Russia and fought there along with France. Sadly, I died on July 18th, 1792 in my Paris apartment. Hello, I am Mercy Otis Waring. During the Revolutionary War, I wrote about what was happening in my pamphlet. My pamphlet was called History of the Rise, Progress, and Termination of the American Revolution. I was wealthy and had a lovely family consisting of my husband James Waring and my 5 children. Charles Waring, James Waring, George Waring, Winslow Waring, and Henry Waring. During this time, I wrote 2 plays called The Defeat and the Group. I became an outspoken commentator and historian. Hello, my name is Mary Libbert Hayes, otherwise known as Molly Pitcher. I was born on October 13th, 1754. On June 28th, 1778, I enlisted to serve with Captain Francis Proctor's company in the Pennsylvania Artillery. I was a nurse in the Revolutionary War. I saved many lives. When my husband was wounded in battle, I took his place, tried as kidnapped the British. My husband sadly died, but years later I married a man named John McCall, but he spent all of my inheritance and disappeared. Many years later, I died at the age of 72. January 22nd, 1836.
Hello, I'm William Howe, also known as William Howe the Prisoner of War. I was a British general who lived to be 84 years old. I fought in the Battle of Bunker Hill, one of the first battles of the American Revolution. Despite being a British general, I understood the American or rebel cause and was publicly sympathetic. I was in Atlanta for 57 years and met Francis Clement while teaming up in the 7 Years' War. We eventually got married by the age of 12. I died in 1814 due to a lung illness, only 10 years after resigning from the military.
Hello, I am Deborah Sampson, a brave hero, some might say, and a very courageous woman. I was born December 17, 1760, to Deborah Bradford and Jonathan Sampson. However, as I grew up, both my parents sadly passed away, so I was sent to live with the Thomas family for 10 years as a servant, where I secretly learned how to read and write from his sons because we did not believe in female education, which helped me later in life when I became a teacher. However, a few years after that, problems with the Loyalists and colonists started up, and the Revolutionary War started. So I just was a man and went under the name of Robert Shirtliff just to fight war. So, but once I got shot in the leg with 2 bullets. But because I did not want my gender revealed, I refused to be taken to the hospital and took one of the bullets out myself with just a penknife and a needle. However, the other one stayed in my leg to this day.
Hello, my name is Abigail Adams. I was born on November 22nd, 1744 in Weymouth, Massachusetts. I married John Adams when I was 19 years old. Together we had 6 kids, one of which died in infancy. John was away with Congress most of the time. During that time I lived in Redford. I kept reminding him to remember that the A few years later, John became vice president for George Washington. After Washington resigned in 1797, John took over as president, making me the first lady. Halfway through his presidency, I moved into the White House, making us the first family ever to do so. I then died on October 25th, 1818. Hello and welcome. My name is Martha Washington. As a son from William Crick, I was the wife of George Washington. George was my second husband after Daniel Boyd Curtis. I was known for being the first lady in 1789. George was president for 2 terms, and I was first lady for both terms. Don't tell George, but I secretly did my part. One thing I do like to do though is spare parties. I was born on June 2nd, 1731, and later died on May 2nd, 1802. Hello, my name is Marquise de Lafayette. I was an amazing war man, and I was born in 1756. 2 years later, my father was killed in the 7-Year War before the British. I kept on with life until my mom and grandmother died, leaving me alone to work. I went to America to fight in the Revolutionary War. I was shot in the leg, but survived. I went to visit my home country, France, and when I came back, I brought thousands of French women. After the USA won the war, I started having a social mistake. But then I was put in prison for no good reason. 5 years later, I was released. After all the things that happened in my life, I came back to America and said farewell to my life. I died in Paris on 28th, 1834. Over my lifetime, I was a good person, a great soldier, and I was smart.
Hi, my name is John Hancock, and I'm here to tell you everything about my life. I was born on January 23rd, 1737 in Braintree, Massachusetts. I lived an average life with a pretty rich family. When I grew up, I was a merchant and a patriot for the American Revolution. I was also much hated by the British for fighting as a patriot. The way I helped the most was for sharing my wealth with the Americans. I was president of Congress for a long time and was the very first person to sign the Declaration of Independence. I signed with a bold signature and was a major founding father. I also believed high in business and was one of the richest people in New England. Some of my quotes are, I glory in publicity, avowing my eternal enmity to tyranny, and many others. I passed away at age 56 in 1793. In conclusion, I was an American patriot, wealthy merchant, and an overall very important founding father.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Franklin. I was born January 17th, 1706, and died April 17th, 1790. I'm very famous for many things I've done. I've invented the lightning rod, invented the bifocals. I've signed the peace treaty between America and France. I've become a founding father, and I've become a part of the committee that wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I was a soldier for Deerfield, leader of the Green Mountain Boys. I was born on January 21st, 1738, and I died in 1789 from a stroke. But when I was living, me and future trader Benedict Arnold led the Green Mountain Boys into Fort Typhon Road and captured it, brought valuable weapons, caused the British to surrender.
Hello there, I'm George Washington. I was born February 22nd, 17. You may know me as the first president of the economy, but I've done many things for you. I led us against the British Revolution. During the
Hi, I'm Alexander Hamilton, and let me tell you about writing the Federalist Papers. I love to write, it's my passion. So you can imagine how excited I was about the idea of helping write the Federalist Papers. Oh my, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you what the Federalist Papers are. Federalist Papers are a series of 85 essays written to convince people that the Constitution was important. I spent so much time writing those essays, and after all that time, I'd written 51 essays. Unfortunately, even after all that work, I still didn't get to sign the Constitution. But no reason to get upset. It is in the past. Oh my, the time has really got away with it. I've been talking for much too long, but I hope you have a good day.